We OG. Oh no, G. You're not bullish enough, yeah. Oh no, you're not bullish enough. You ain't got the oh no. I get stoned by the bolo. Bitcoin set to overload, yeah. Experts on reload, yeah. You're not bullish enough, yeah. Oh no, you're not bullish enough. You ain't got the oh no. I get stoned by the bolo. Bitcoin set to overload. Experts on reload. Mempool getting hot. Everybody wanna rock, ayy. Runes is coming, everybody on a knot, ayy. It's a nuisance, Ordinal Revolution, ayy. Ordinal Revolution. Yo, it's my guy for real, bro. Got French right now. Yo, BRC 420, bro. Yo, that shit on fire, bro. Imagine if he in here. Yeah, like it in the seal. Murder. I got balls of steel. Nookies on the field. Yeah, this shit for real. With no calls, I get so far. Got 100 phone calls that I go hard, and they gon' love me. Smoke weed, huddle back. I get shiesty. Where my Bitcoin looking lovely. All this Satoshi's nothing above me. Bitcoin's alive, what you gon' do? Mempool fees are high. Ordinal. Where does it stop? Nobody knows. It's a revolution, ayy. Bitcoin is the one, no substitution, ayy. With Shizzy and Yagobi, it's Ordinal Revolution.
Welcome back to Ordinal Revolution. My name is Shizzy. On this channel, we cover the entire Bitcoin Ordinal ecosystem. What is up, guys? We have an amazing show for you guys today. We're live for another Ordinal Hour, as we do all week, Monday to Friday. We have a great show for you guys today. Obviously, today is FOMC day. We find out at 2 o'clock the interest rate, if they're going to obviously keep it the same, which everyone's thinking, or they're going to cut it. We think it's going to be keep it the same, but really depends on what Jerome Powell says at 2:30. That is the real indicator of what's going to happen with Bitcoin next, right? So if he is a little dovish, we potentially could be in really good momentum going into September. So August could be really good. Today is the last day of July. So we are getting our dot from Plan B tomorrow on the stock to flow chart. We're going to talk about a little bit about that as well. But without further ado, we're bringing my partner here, as always, Mr. Yagobi. What's up, buddy?
What's going on?
Yeah, man. So today's a big day, huge day. I think the momentum is about to change. How you feeling with everything?
Yeah, it's a weird, almost eerie feeling. I feel like yesterday's topic of the show, Ghost Town, Bitcoin Ghost Town, kind of is that energy that I've been feeling, at least. But
yeah,
I do feel like something is like, there's this demand that's been suppressed, right? And so it could change from today's decision from Powell and with the FOMC meeting. And a lot of people are kind of expecting that, right? People that I've seen that are pretty good at trading, pretty decent at charting and stuff like that. And what I'm seeing is kind of matching up with what they're seeing. So let's hope that that's the case and the energy reverses, because it is a little bit lower than what let's be real. It's a lot lower than what we would like it to be.
Yeah, I'm getting a lot of bottom indicators, right? I'm getting a lot of from the mempool, from like our views, right? From so many different other indicators saying this is the bottom. And I get a lot of this happened last September, right? Last October, in the first week of that, it was similar, very similar to this with the mempool. Our views were really low compared to how we were like 2 months prior, and we had more followers, just like we are today. Everything kind of really feels similar to that. Not only the people on Twitter, there's less and less people talking about runes and ordinals, and just like I like going through my feed, like 2 months ago, 3 months ago was like so much more. Now I feel like I'm reading the same comments over and over. I just feel like the interest isn't there, and that usually is a huge indicator for the bomb.
Yeah, I would agree. I do think that we're kind of pulled back though compared to last year. I would say like we're pulled back a couple months, right? Because things didn't really start getting going until September. But I think that could happen in August. Just because this is the year that typically the halving year, the end of the year is whenever things start to get really juicy, price action starts to happen, especially if you look back at 2016 heading into 2017. But there has to be a ramp up. Even let's say like by December, we're looking at 95,000. Well, between September, October, November, we got to hit certain levels of price, right?
Yeah.
And I actually think it could be higher than 95,000 in December heading into the new year. So it's just everybody wants to guess what's going to happen, and that's usually whenever people get things wrong because we are not fortune tellers, but we can try to use indicators to help guide us and forecast of what's to come.
Yeah, 100%. I agree. So, Jerome Powell is speaking today, just like I mentioned earlier, but he's speaking today at 2:30. But the rate decision is coming out at 2 p.m. So you might see, a spike up or down right before 2 o'clock, what usually happens. A lot of people front running the number, and then the number coming out. How do you feel about this 2 p.m. first, and then the speech at 2:30?
So, volatility is going to happen. It happens every time, right? So this is just the decision, right? There's not a CPI that's coming out today. This is just the decision based on what they're going to do for July, based on this month's data from earlier and, what else they gathered together to make today's decision. So, I mean, a lot of people are going to be interested in seeing what he's going to say. A lot of people are kind of betting on continual pause. So if he does actually cut rates, I think that would create a huge spike in price. But even you, I think, are in the mindset of probably just another pause until September, right?
Yeah. So what I've realized is the bettors always win. So the bettors right now are betting that it will stay flat, and it's like 68% of them are voting one way. So it's really changed my mind recently on looking at that. I'm just going to go by what the bettors say because people are betting their cold hard cash on something, and 68% of them say that we're going to stay flat. We're probably going to stay flat, and they have been right every single FMOC meeting going all the way to January on the poly market stuff. So for now on, dude, I'm just checking poly market. I'm just checking the prediction markets, whether that's Agora later or whatever, and just kind of seeing where they are because they're normally right on these things. So I'm just going to go on that. But what you say?
It hasn't been too hard. I'll say it hasn't been too hard to get it right though. Right. I mean, I feel like we've realized he's pretty stubborn in terms of cutting rates, whether that's a good thing or bad thing. I think until like he's going to surprise people is basically the month he's going to do it. So that'll be the month they get it wrong.
We'll see. But unless he comes out today and he says, hey, next in September, we're leaning towards cutting rates. If he does say that, one, momentum is back. Two, we have something to look forward to. And three, that's not priced in. I don't think it's priced in right now. I don't think a rate cut in September is priced in. We'll find out today if it is or not. If he comes out and says that and we don't skyrocket up like I think we do, I think Bitcoin breaks 70K in August. Whether we break 75K in August, I'm not sure, but I think it happens in August, and I think it's going to be the momentum to push us to 100K by end of the year. I'm still thinking 100K by end of the year. I'm not sure if you think that as well.
Yeah, I think that's very, very doable. I do tend to try to stay more conservative on Bitcoin price action, but with the, I guess, variables behind Bitcoin's positive price action with the ETF and stuff like that, I think we could break the 6-figure mark before the year's up. What's interesting to me though right now is seeing the people that in these kind of weird I don't know how to fill situations typically will take the downside are taking the upside here and saying they're expecting Bitcoin's price to actually kind of break up here and get aggressive. And these are people that a lot of times people kind of look at them as like pessimistic people with price action, and they're like, I'm sorry, I want to make you happy. And so for me, that's a bullish indicator, right? I'll say there's only probably like maybe around 3 people that I look at that in that way, and they're all pointing up. And it's kind of matching what I'm thinking too. That's not saying that we won't, revisit, dip back down before we really take off in September or October, whenever that is. But I think this next leg, we're going to at least probably bounce up to try to grab that liquidity at 72.
Yeah, let me show you this chart real quick. So each of these lines mark up the FOMC meetings of each single time. So you can see we rose up here in February, kind of March, kind of sat flat. Then we had our first one, really went sideways. You can say down from the point to point, and then we had from May to June we had an upward one, and then from June to July you kind of went down only, and then from July to August up. So if this matches again, we're up, right? Do we send back down here as well? I'm not really sure. Or do we just continue this? Because you got to remember here, we definitely see a bottom, you see a cup, you see a handle. Do we just go off TA and shoot up from there as well?
Yeah, it seems like this is the only meeting that there was both trends, right? Like you saw a downtrend to start it, and then a reversal uptrend. The previous time periods, it was either up, down, and then down before that, right? Well, I guess that kind of counts as a 2 trend, that first one. But anyways, I don't know, right? I think it's be very interesting because we're kind of right in the middle of a pattern, right? With this, but it's kind of scary to me now that you brought this up, because it's like, is the trend going to reverse back down here? We'll see. We shall see.
Yeah.
The one thing I will say though is summer is kind of trying to wrap up here. It's trying to wrap up. We do have August, obviously. Summer doesn't officially start until is it September or October in terms of the official date?
I think Labor Day really is the
okay.
end,
yeah,
right?
So September. So August is really that last month of summer. Yeah. It's going to be interesting to see if we continually. I feel like our summer hasn't been great, but there's been a bounce back in July. How will we finish the summer? How will we finish August? I do think a liquidity grab has to be there though at 72,000, because let's think about it from the market makers, right? We're so close to 72,000. Grab that liquidity and then head back down if you want to build back up longs in that 72 range. Let it kind of live around 72, 73, 74, build up that confidence, let longs build up, and then send it back down. And then you can still grab liquidity when you finally go back up again.
If you look at this, we have a lot of different good TA stuff
shorts
here, right? Yeah, I got it. But you obviously you have a higher high and a higher low, right? You also have a trend that's going upwards. You have a cup and handle. There's so many different TA spots that would tell us that we're going north here. If we stay in this trend, if they call this a lower low, higher low, and then this is the higher high, we could potentially see another higher high today, another higher low, and kind of finish off this. I think we do end up like this. I think we're going to repeat this pattern just over here, come from here, and that would kind of take us up to about 78,000 by September. I think that is fair. I think a $78,000 before Labor Day is a really fair uptrend. And I think it starts because we can't just be bottom dwelling like we are right now. We are completely bottom dwelling in every single aspect, besides maybe just like 1 or 2 cryptocurrencies in the market. Like it's not just ordinals, it's not just runes, it's every altcoin from Render to Cardano and so on and so on. It's not just ordinals that are really feeling these bottom feelings to me.
Yeah, definitely. It's the entire market. The only one that has been a little bit off, really, the R space has gone against the grain the past year, and people don't realize it. But like we've had many bull runs and little bear runs within our space. No other space in crypto has had that except for Solana, and theirs has been different. It's been very like really hard going up and then kind of chilling, and then it's and it was later too. It wasn't the entire time. So the entire space is feeling it. But yeah, so we'll see. One thing I'll say though is it feels kind of depressing, yes, but Bitcoin's at 66,300. It's not that bad. That's like
Yep.
actually pretty solid, and it's more like somber feelings because of where we are in ordinal prices, and the fungible token prices aren't like booming right now, but Bitcoin isn't struggling. It's in a good spot. So I think expecting 78,000, 80,000 by the end of September is definitely possible, but not the end of August necessarily. But if we get it, great, right? Because I don't know. I feel like there's enough time in between for them to tease us into the 74,000 range and then come back down one last time before, that final ascent up to where we can kind of start feeling euphoric again. Right. They like to play games a lot in our industry, right? So
100%. And obviously today is July 31st, which means we're getting our new red dot tomorrow on the stock to flow chart. Obviously, I think we're going to hit this up here this cycle. I think so. If we get a red dot, it's going to be pretty, like you said yesterday, but as long as it's above 62, we will get a higher red dot. And I think the next one's going to have some space in between. And I think that's where we're going to hit that $78,000 for September, and then we're going to continue upwards. I think every single dot as we get closer is going to get higher and higher, and that's going to be above 100K in the next 4 to 5 red dots. So for sure, and then it just continuously climbs. We're going to have pretty much, I think, very similar to this, very similar to that. So if you think about it that way, 700K by mid to late 2025. What do you think? What do you think Plan B is going to say tomorrow? Because obviously he puts out a video as well.
If you look at all the other cycles and you see the third red dot, it is besides that first one, which I think was kind of an anomaly, right? The other two are similar. The first three are kind of clustered, and then that fourth one is kind of where it separates. So this is our third dot this month, right? Third red dot. So that's good. So to me, if it follows the previous two cycles, then we could possibly see separation from this fourth red dot for August, right? And that's what I'm hoping. I think it's needed because, again, like I said, this has been a really methodical kind of build back up to 66. It did get to 69, but it didn't feel the same as previously, whenever Bitcoin was running up. It just, yes, we had like really good positive energy with Trump speaking at the Bitcoin conference, and that was fun, the conference in general, but the price action affecting the Bitcoin ecosystem hasn't felt the same this run up. Do you see that as well?
Yeah, I do. It definitely feels different. I mean, we were talking with Benjamin McCullen, right, at the thing, and he said that we should really only be at like 50,000, right? So if you take that into perspective, the ETF kind of shot us way over where we were supposed to be in his mind, right? Do you agree with that?
Yeah, I mean, it was a variable that wasn't necessarily expected. Number one, it's a huge volume of purchasing power, right? Positive purchasing power, right? So yeah, it definitely changed the way that Bitcoin's price action has been the year of the halving, right? We got there before we expected to. So I think that's probably a little bit more why we've seen more chop like this long is because we can't in the minds of probably the market makers and people that are behind it, they can't let them get ahead too much before they're actually supposed to get ahead, which is starting that first huge leg up.
Supposed
right?
to, it's almost like this is scripted, right? It's funny.
Every 4 years, right?
July 29th marks the 100th day since the Bitcoin blockchain cut per block mining rewards from 3.12 to 3.12 from 6.25. So the halving, basically, we're 100 days from the halving officially as of the 29th, which is 2 days ago. So we're 102 days past it. We are about 165 days of sideways since beginning of March. Pretty nuts, right? We're 100 days past halving already. I think the time just flew by.
This year has flown by a lot. And I think it has to do with us like being in the space every day, focusing on Bitcoin's price, focusing on the variables that affect our space, like all the political stuff, and just being deep into the space. So like we're paying attention to when we think Bitcoin should do this or when we think Bitcoin should do that. And next thing you know, like we were in January and here we are about to hit August. Right, so 8 months has flown by, and we've had some really good highs. We've had some difficult lows, and I think we're coming out of one of those kind of difficult periods, right? And so I would say we've been through this before. Stick to your convictions. I'm going to there's no turning back at this point. We're here. I will say also, those infographics that show ecosystems and builders, I've been seeing a lot more of those for the Bitcoin ecosystem, and it's growing and growing and growing. So it's getting ready. Everybody's prepping for when Bitcoin does go ballistic. Because I think it's inevitable. There's some people like Rand Nooner that's saying, maybe buying altcoins isn't the best idea this cycle, but no one was thinking necessarily about altcoins automatically in 2017, right? Like right when Bitcoin, it was all about Bitcoin, and then Ethereum got popular and stuff like that. So it will trickle down, and our ecosystem will probably see the first benefits of it. But it's not on our time. It's on the time of Bitcoin, whenever Bitcoin decides to reward the holders, right?
Yep, I agree. Yeah, man. Jump to the next thing. So the reason the price dropped yesterday, obviously was the U.S. moving some Bitcoin around, or was that Monday? And then today, we had another drop in the middle of the night when Mt. Gox moved some Bitcoin to an unidentified wallet. So it's just so funny that we drop when the U.S. ordered the Mt. Gox wallet, the final boss, as Fred Krueger calls Mt. Gox. It's just insane to me that like it's almost like people have their wallets pegged and it's like an automatic bots just sell and buy if these Bitcoins move in these wallets. Do you think it's just traders trading at this point?
Yeah.
Yeah. No one's really getting scared, right? It's just traders trading it.
Yeah, and there's people tracking these wallets intentionally, right? You have bears that are tracking these wallets that want to make a good profit on the way down, and so they'll have a network of larger accounts just putting the news out there. But it's a part of the game, right? It's all a part of the game. They want to highlight when Mt. Gox's custody wallet of this Bitcoin moves Bitcoin. Same thing with the government. Same thing happened with the German government. The German government actually, that one was that one was interesting. But yeah, so this is all a part of the game, and then there's going to be a point where no news can really do anything to the price, and they'll jump on the write up basically.
When does this stop happening though? Like when does like people stop over gauging these wallets?
It's gonna stop happening once we're fully like into this bull market, when Bitcoin is running, because they know that like this news is not gonna really affect it, right? Like if we're like on this aggressive run, we're past 80 grand, we're and it's time, we're like in October, November, and we continue, and also the politics side of it too is going to be important. I think it's really important that Bitcoin starts to become bipartisan, right? Because if something were to happen on the other side, right, then you just don't want to be in a situation that we were in the past 4 years, right? And so however the powers to be in our industry can make that happen, I think is the most important objective.
I agree
with that.
A statement came out from Bloomberg that kind of surprised me. They said the separation of government and Bitcoin will eventually come to an end. And what I'm hearing in this from Bloomberg, right? This is not CoinDesk. This is not Decrypt. This is Bloomberg. The separation of government and Bitcoin will eventually come to an end. Are they saying every government will hold Bitcoin?
I think they're saying there will be some sort of integration, right? Maybe a reserve. If it works, you know what I mean, and people see that these larger powers are doing it, then they're going to follow suit, right? They want to make sure that their government is has a strong reserve as well,
Yeah.
and I think there'll be less negative kind of like there's no government that hates on gold anymore,
Yeah.
right? And so I think that's what they're talking about,
That makes sense.
so.
Bitcoin mining difficulty is ripping. Mining difficulty has adjusted upwards 10% to an all-new high of 90.7. The miners are coming back on. They turned off, I want to say, about a month ago. You saw it get negative, more negative, but they're back, and they're all coming on at the same time. Does this indicate something to you, maybe?
Yeah, that they're expecting something, right? That's what it sounds like to me. The energy at the conference from the miners was insane. They're excited, guys. Yeah, it might seem like the fees are really, really low, but they know what's coming. They've ran this play so many times before. They know what's coming. So that's what it's telling me.
Yeah. It's almost like you can live and die by the mining's difficulty, right? So if you see the mining difficulty dropping, maybe it's time to sell your assets. And when you see mining difficulty turning back online like it is today, kind of it gives you a buy signal, right? So I'm gonna keep an eye on this and really start maybe trading this a little bit. You know what I mean? Just fun. Just kind of see if this is something that I can count on in the long run.
Yeah, definitely. Do some testing with it, see if it can be a good indicator to let you know
Yep.
what's to come.
So this is something I saw too. Treasury boost liquidity buyback to 30 billion. So we're finally buying back treasuries for the first time. We've been selling them off since 2021. And a lot of people want to say that it was the stimulus checks that really pushed the last bull market, but I think it was the buybacks. So what that does is Treasury are buying back bonds, which puts more money into the system. The money printer go burr. When they buy back bonds, they're creating money to do this, which is putting more money into the system. If they're buying $30 billion a month, starting this month, and they just started, in July, that's a lot of liquidity coming back into the system every single month. How do you feel about that? It feels like everything is just lining up right now.
Yeah. I mean, it gets me excited about it. And did they say they were going to do this every month?
Yeah, every month.
For how long?
I had a chart, but last time it lasted.
That seems like a lot of
years.
money for a month every month.
Yeah, I mean, dude, that's not though. I had a chart. Let me see if I can find it. My computer froze earlier. I had it up, but see if I can find the chart.
So I'm less versed in treasury bonds.
Yeah.
So what does this do? You said that this will bring that amount of liquidity into the free market open.
So what they do here, I actually found the chart. 1 second. All right. So here's the chart right here. You can see these are all treasury buybacks, right? You can see back when the liquidity was really high, when the bull market was going on, they were buying back a crap load of treasuries, right? Percent change from a year ago. So this is percentage changing. So they were up almost 25% from the year, and you could see right as 2023 started, they started selling off more of the treasuries that they bought. So now you can see this first little one right here, and they're going to start buying it back, right? But look at the difference in the percentage. And everyone says that the big bull run was caused by people getting $1,500 checks. Is bullshit. The real reason why the bull run happened was the Treasury buying back bonds, and by doing that, they're creating new money to do so. And this is new money entering the system. So potentially we're starting a new trend here finally after really this trend right here. So we're going to start a new trend, potentially buying back 10% of all the bonds. I mean, they're buying back 25% of all the bonds that existed. And now they're selling 5% of all the bonds existed. So now we're back up here for the first time, and we're going to be buying bonds back up, printing new money to do so.
Yeah. Well, I mean, that looks like a pretty small little candlestick, but at least it's in the positive in terms of buying it back.
You
Are
can
they
see it
buying back
doesn't
from other
switch though.
countries? Like I know Japan held a lot, right?
They're buying back the market. So what bonds kind of work like stocks. You can sell them, buy and sell them into the market. So they're buying them from the market.
Gotcha.
But yeah, you take that off there. But yeah, so exciting. I think that's exciting. I think 30.
Bitcoiners are excited about it, right?
Yeah, for sure.
Then
So
I'm
we'll see.
excited about it. So yeah, if they feel like it makes Bitcoin, price action just get more aggressive in the upward trend, then I'm all for it.
Well, that's the thing. It's new money entering the system for the first time. I mean, there hasn't been new money entering the system since 2023.
Yeah.
So now we have new money finally entering the system, which is huge. But let's jump to the Bitcoin fear and greed. Damn, we're a half hour in already. Damn. So we the Bitcoin fear and greed from yesterday was 67. Last week was at 69. Where do you think we're at today?
Oh man, 65.
61.
Dang.
So we're at 61 in the Bitcoin fear and greed today. Especially after yesterday with the Mt. Gox moving some funds around, I think before 8 o'clock yesterday. So that is, I think why we're down. I think you would have been right if they didn't move the funds around, but sitting around 61. But yeah, and that is Bitcoin fear and greed.
Yep, man. It's that whole meter thing is it's really hard for me to get a good handle of it.
Yeah.
But all right. Well, you want to jump into the price charts here?
Yeah, jump into some charts. Yep. Let's do it.
I see a banner up here, so let me make sure that's off there.
Yeah.
Okay. All right, guys. We're going to talk about the price action here for Bitcoin. But before we do that, we have 137 people in here. So we appreciate each and every one of you guys watching us on the YouTube side. Please subscribe if you're not subscribed. Hit that notification so you can see when we go live. And smash that like for us. And on the Twitter side, please share the space, guys. We want to educate as many people as possible. But let's get into the charts here. The charts are kind of showing, here's the hour chart, going to show us how possibly the second half of today is going to be, which I don't know if charting really matters too much. It's going to really depend on what Jerome Powell says, right? But we are showing that we still have some buy pressure here on the MACD. We have been over here. We've hit overbought several times, about 3 times. This is our 3rd time in this overbought territory since looks like about 4 o'clock yesterday, right? So I think we're really just chopping here to see what Jerome Powell says. People aren't trying to be too aggressive. They're not trying either way, right? Like sell or buy. So we're hanging out in that low 66,000 mark up to like 66.5. That's what I'm seeing. Have been seeing for the past couple hours, just really chopping back and forth. So I believe, when is it? 2 o'clock, 2:30 Eastern?
2:30 is the speech.
Yeah.
2 is the decision.
Gotcha. 2 o'clock is the decision. So we'll be doing a members only live stream during that time, just to kind of give you guys some feedback. We'll go over our portfolio as well for our road to 100K. So what I'm seeing for the rest of the day is really going to be dependent upon the FOMC meeting. So chop until then is what I'm seeing. If you see here, this is what I kind of mapped out, couple days ago too. Is I actually expected, I did have a line that went down here because this was before all this happened. I was like, either we're gonna tank down here, possibly hit that last resistance of 64,000 and then go down, but that didn't happen. So that chop just is continuing here, and like I said, I'm sticking with my guns in terms of thinking the market makers are going to tag that 72,000 mark at least to grab that liquidity there. But for the second half of today, like I said, really just chop up until 2, and then we'll let you guys know during the members live stream of how we feel for the rest of the day and possibly for the next couple of days. But for now, on the 4-hour chart, I'm really liking this chart. So this is actually letting me know, even with right now, that I feel like we are going to be aggressive in the uptrend trajectory, and showing that the sell pressure is weakening here. You can see the blue and red lines starting to come together on the MACD. And we have been down here for a decent amount of time, couple days. Usually the 4-hour chart will forecast 2 to 3 days out. So I think that's been enough time. Maybe we have some good news in the FOMC and that just burst us up here. So that this is a pretty good, like, optimistic chart for the next couple of days heading into the weekend. And this could kind of start that trajectory up to try to tag that 72,000 mark. So the 4-hour chart looking good, could get us, back to 68, 69, maybe even 70 before the weekend. 12-hour chart is a little bit different story. It is showing that, and this is forecasting for the next week and a half, 2 weeks, showing that we just entered not long ago into oversold, but we were there not long ago as well. Like that was about a week ago, right? We didn't even reach the overbought. So I don't expect us to hang out here too long. Maybe for the next week, we get to that 70,000 mark, we kind of tread back and forth, and maybe we have some surprising price action. We get out of the oversold, and August is that, month that we possibly break out into new all-time highs. We shall see, but that is what I'm seeing for the 3 time frames.
Yeah, man. And let's jump into some roll call here. A little late roll call, but still roll call. I'm gonna hit on the graveyard real quick. So we do have some people entering the graveyard. Let's see. So we had Katie N, Billy Cats to the Moon, and Mr. Hanky, Crypto Noob, and Claudio in the graveyard. I think No Limit Dude is there as well. Yeah, so this is the graveyard. And what I mean by graveyard is because you guys will sometimes put it too early, and then for some reason YouTube deletes them sometimes and then not deletes them other times. I don't know why, but all I can go by is what I see here, and I see that my boy Danny wins today. Congratulations. You are number 1 in the comment section. You say fire sales, and I 100% agree with you. Danny is one of our mods, and we appreciate you so much, man. Followed by Reziak. Reziak is a GM legend. And then our guy, he was a member on his old account, but he has started a new account. But we appreciate Yasher, man, still continuing his membership with us. We appreciate you. And if you are a member, Yagobi mentioned it earlier, but we're going to go live for the FMOC decision and meeting. So join us at 2 p.m. Eastern time today. So probably like 2 hours after we finish today's show. Come back, join us. If you're a member, it'll be a members only live video for our YouTube members only. So check us out for that. But then BitRenz is here. Lackey Lukey. No. I Walk Alone. It says let's go. Smash the like and share. Shout out to you, my friend. Dream Baked is here. Followed by No Limit Dude. Cheaty. Green Man is here. Joko is here. Chain Watcher. He's always watching the chain. Tim Baker, AOD Art. Shout out to you, my friend. Pelpa is here. My man E-Buck is in the building. Even when things are red, he is still here. Shout out to you, E-Buck. Steamy J is here. Chief Axel, amazing again to meet you in Nashville. LSR. John says here. So John's back. So you know what that means. The bottom is in if John is back. Ant-Man. Hope to see. I hope to see too. Said September 22nd is the end of summer. But I think, we kind of closed it out with Labor Day.
Yeah, that's right around the same time frame.
Yeah,
right.
So Claudia, we have Mr. Sheedy is here. So what's up? Have a great day. D Love is here. Kai Effect. Justin is here. Shout out to Justin, man. So Jim Cramer has flipped bearish down on Bitcoin. Very good signal. Again, all the signals are lining up, dude. Every single signal right now is lining up. And we have Zaid is here. I think I said Claudio, but I'll say you again. And then we have Mauricio is here, and then Chain Watcher is here. Well, I said to you twice, but he says true Shizzy. You're always watching the chain. Shout out to you guys, man. Appreciate every single one of you guys who make the roll call. Roll call is a big deal. We appreciate you guys' consistency. And
and I want to emphasize Danny's comment there about fire sales. Right, like that's the term that we use in the hobby industry too. When cards go on fire sales and stuff, and if you look at Magic Eden, there are fire sales. You're talking about puppets at 0.077.
God.
Node Monks at 0.117. Node Monks gets below 0.1. Woo, that's gonna be. I think people are just gonna jump on that like crazy. But yeah, I mean, I haven't seen opportunities like this in a very, very long time.
I agree. Jumping to some Ordinal news here. The No Ordinary Kind total supply 7,680 recursive ordinals on block 9 450 sats, all descended from 2 rare sats, is live. So it's live right now on Magic Eden. You can kind of go over to here and you kind of see it. You can see that the guaranteed is out. Almost total minute. Oh, it's minute out already?
Sold. I guess so. Looks like it's sold out.
Wow. That was insanely quick. I was actually looking forward to the public sale. It doesn't look like. Why does it look like this though? It looks like
because it's
here.
already. I think they've already been like sent to the mempool because you can't snipe mints
Well, it says the claim. These are the claims here. So I think wow. So the countdown's over and 100%. I hope this is wrong because I didn't think it was going to get that quick. But damn, you can see these fucking 5-6 times higher than this 0014. Damn, yeah.
Yeah, this is from the control team too, right?
Yeah, that's a big deal.
Yeah. So, you called it. You said that this would be, pretty hot once, they had their launch, and it seems like that's the case. There's not much for them to compete with right now, right?
Yeah.
So that's when I think the only time it makes sense whenever prices you got fire sales is if there's not a bunch of competition and then you launch, because then it's you by yourself, really. And so we'll see how this plays out on secondary. Obviously, there's always like a moment of opportunity to flip and stuff initially. We'll see how long it lasts though.
Yeah. So this is going to be one of the bigger collections, and I think this is coming out right at the bottom here. This could actually bring the momentum back in if this collection does really well. You should see the shoot to like 0.07 or something crazy like that today. It could be pretty nuts, depending on the momentum that it brings. But we'll see. Jump to the next topic here. Xverse. We've partnered with MoonPay to give you another way to buy Bitcoin directly in the app. So Xverse, man, again, really, really being the number one wallet in ordinals and runes. Partnering with MoonPay, this is another way to get Bitcoin without going to Cash App like I use, or Coinbase like you use, or like whatever other exchanges that you guys use there. So this is amazing. This is huge for Bitcoin and ordinals.
I think we're going to see more of this if our government is friendly with crypto.
Yeah.
Right. We'll see some kind of onboarding and off boarding your funds right directly into your bank account from decentralized tooling. Right. Does that take away business from decentralized exchanges? Yes, it does. They might be against it, but we'll see how it plays out. I think in the beginning, though, everybody should just chill and let's kind of bask in this moment of like being able to breathe for the first time in like 4 years in terms of regulation and stuff like that.
Yeah, man, I agree. Congratulations to Xverse. It's a huge partnership with them. MoonPay kind of, they're a big deal. To them to partner with someone like Xverse, I mean, that just shows they're watching us now, right? That's not just our inside eyes; it's people on the outside. And MoonPay is one of the biggest, so that's pretty big.
100%.
Jumping on to the next set of news here, we have Tap Protocol. So they said we achieved the impossible on L1 Bitcoin. DeFi will never be the same, and yet they don't tell us anything else. so this is something that me and you were kind of joking with earlier. I there's not much ordinals news, so I just want to kind of speculate on potentially what the hell are they talking about.
So
speculate. I mean, right?
Yeah. I mean, I do feel like they've achieved something that has made everybody really giddy. Right, like a schoolgirl is for them to put this out. And we had some news from Tom from the track team yesterday talking about how they're attempting to make swapping on layer 1 possible via ICP.
Yeah.
Right. So this could be the collaboration with ICP and swaps and testing, and them stress testing it and them just being excited about it. I'm hoping that's the case, because if it's just a tease that leads to nothing, that would be very annoying, right? But that's what I'm thinking. Is it annoying? There's not more information, of course, right? But maybe they just don't want to get too many people too excited yet. But regardless, this gets people kind of excited, right?
It didn't get me excited when I read this. I was just kind of like, before we talked about it, I looked at it and I was like, oh yeah, more promises, right? More promises, right? So it's just kind of the same thing with promises. They're promising promises, right? They're promising this. It's just kind of like if I put out something like, hey guys, we got something big coming. We'll talk to you in 4 weeks. Like you're gonna be like, well, what's the point? The announcement before the announcement. It's like it kind of ruins it a little bit if they would just kind of waited to put it out later.
Yeah, but everybody's doing it right now. I mean, if
Announcement
you
for
look
the
at
announcement is the worst announcement of all time.
yeah, and everybody's doing it right now because everybody is not wanting to release information or their product until they feel like the time is right. You know, I mean, that's why I do give Tap Wallet and Explorer a lot of props for releasing their market now.
Yeah.
You know, they're the first to market. So by the way, you know, I was on their website and people have listed Tap tokens already. And you know, there's not a ton of listings yet, but maybe that changes. We'll see. But yeah, so they kind of went out and said, you know what, we're just going to release the marketplace, even though the market conditions aren't the best yet. And I can see why people do hold it back as well. So there's you know, pros and cons to both strategies.
100%. The marketplace is pretty nice. As you can see, everything's kind of mixed in. So as of right now, I think eventually they're going to add some stuff, but they just kind of want to get kicked off so that way they can showcase everything. There's not many listings here, so if you do have some Tap tokens, you can. It's actually really easy to list and everything. You just go to My Items and you can kind of list them pretty easy, even with the transfer description. Obviously, it's going to take, you know, 1 block to clear it and then 1 block to go. But the blocks have been pretty quickly, very recently, so you might be able to get your transfer description done quickly. But that is one flaw of Tap is the transfer description, but we will see in the future if they fix that. But you can see some Tap tokens, 27 cents for some minus Tap tokens. These are some steals on here if you're interested in that. Yeah, 46 cents over here. Tap Zero selling for $41. So pretty crazy. Yeah, but that is the Tap Wallet and Explorer.
Yeah. And Yashir, one of our mods says also the Tap Wallet team are so open-minded for feedback. Just DM them some and they accepted it. Yeah, you know, I actually DM'd them this morning and told them, hey, you know, it'd be a good idea to add an activity, a tab, right? So you can see what's been selling, what's been moving, and I'm sure that they're going to add that. But they are very open-minded with that, and they want to hear your suggestions and all that good stuff. So, hey, there's a marketplace completely dedicated to Tap tokens. So let's see if this you know, starts to get used, right? More than Ordinal's wallet, more than Sats X, because they are fully dedicated to Tap only.
Yep. And he's pretty much, you know, showing his face and stuff like that. He's coming on every Tuesday. They don't build something like this and index something like this to rug you, right? I mean, it's just too much effort to go in to rug you for what a little bit, you know what I mean? Yeah, exactly. So I'm not really worried about getting rugged by these guys at all. I mean, he's showing his face. He's trying to build here. He's been in the space for a while, so I'm confident that this is not anything that you should be worried about. Obviously, I wouldn't be going with this with a wallet with 6 no monkeys in it, 4 puppets, and, you know, $500,000 worth of assets. For sure, I wouldn't use that wallet. But to use a wallet that has, you know, some Tap assets in it, I think it's completely fine.
Yep.
All right, so Tap says developers on Tap can execute transactions on Bitcoin's layer 1 while continuing to use their preferred coding language. So they're saying here that you can code with any language on Tap using Bitcoin. I'm not sure how they're doing this, but it's pretty cool where you don't just have to use, you know, obviously you can't use Solidity, but you can probably use any other language there's possible.
Yeah, I mean, that's kind of the rule set, I believe, like whenever you're inscribing stuff, right?
Yeah.
So I think they're just trying to encourage and get, you know, traditional builders, developers interested, right? So I think they listed the languages, JavaScript, Python. I'm not sure if they said like C++ or anything else, you know, but you know, a lot of traditional computer programming languages, which is really cool because if you can build an application using the language you're most proficient in, and it's compatible with the Tap ecosystem, and which can connect to wallets and stuff like that, that could be huge, right?
Yep.
So I was looking for that.
So I have it right here. It's Python, Java. Let me bring up my screen.
Yeah, bring it up.
It's this includes Python, Java, TypeScript, Rust, and Motoko. So these are some of the biggest languages in just like Web 2, right? Python, JavaScript, TypeScript, Rust is what Solana uses. So and Motoko I never heard of. Motoko. So yeah, pretty crazy.
Yeah, and TypeScript, I believe Lambda uses that.
Yeah.
So I wonder if there could be a compatibility with builders on in the Lambda protocol as well. So I don't know. This could be really big. This could be really big, especially encouraging traditional developers that have wanted to build in our space but don't want to use Solidity, don't really want to get into like the smart contract languages. Obviously, Rust is in there, but we'll see.
Yep. Yeah, man. So the mempool, right, has been at its lowest this week that it's really been in a really long time. I think we saw over the weekend, we saw 2 sats per VByte, but this is pretty nuts, man. Like I was looking at this earlier. If you kind of go back to the middle of the night, 4, 6, 5, 3, 5, 3. I mean, if you have a collection and you're pushing it in right now, you're getting really lucky with like $1 per inscription right now, maybe even less than that if you're using your own node. But absolutely insane. 3, 4, 3, 3. Like you got 7. It's insane, dude. I'm trying to find a 2. I'd be shocked if I seen a 2 here, but pretty nuts.
Yeah, that's so low. That's so crazy.
I mean, it's so many blocks too. It's not just like in the middle of the night. It goes back to like 16 hours ago. Which was like
I'm curious about what your thoughts are. When we were minting, let's say BRC20 was the main fungible token standard, we never hit these lows, right?
Well, I mean, they kind of still are. I mean, yeah, we did.
No.
I mean, last September was lower than this. It was just as low as this.
Lower than 1 sat.
I mean, dude, nobody was minting. Remember, people were doing sats, minting sats at like 1 or 2 VBytes. We were talking to what's the name about that? He said people would set that there and people would snipe them. Because they would wait so long.
I remember us having like low periods, but I don't remember it being like this dry.
Dude, it feels exactly the same as last September.
Yeah.
BRC20s were dead, bro. You can go back and watch a video. They were dead last September. Like Ordi was sitting at like $1.99.
I remember that. I remember whenever Ordi did get that low, but how long did that last for? I want to say it lasted for like 3 weeks, maybe. Not $1.99. That was the lowest it touched, and then it fluctuated between like $10 and that like $5 range, and then it kind of took back off, and then obviously we know the rest of the story of it hitting, I think like almost $100, right? So I don't know. Definitely dead period whenever you see the fees like that, right?
Yeah.
But my conviction is still strong. I do expect us to have really positive type of energy once Bitcoin does get past that wall of like 72,000, because last time we couldn't get past 72,000, and we've hit that a couple times, right? So I think that's what it's going to take for Runes to really have success. Is Bitcoin's going to have to fly by. We got to get to like $80,000 at least, something like a new all-time high or something. Until then, I think we're going to see this lethargic type of price action.
We just need risk to turn on. That's it. We need all coins to start moving, not just in ordinals. We need to see that all this way through. We need to see like things like XRP and stuff moving. But what that does, that brings retail in, and retail gets riskier and riskier the longer they stay in. Retail is not here. If you talk to anybody who is in crypto, they're just buying Bitcoin right now. Like, and a lot of them are just doing it through an ETF. So risk is not on. And risks don't go on until we're talking to Benjamin Cohen. He said it doesn't happen until we cut rates.
Yeah. So, no, I agree with you, man. And like you said, retail people here right now, you see Mauricio says, love a fire sale, but I don't have any money anymore. Bags are packed. Bags are packed. right?
Yep.
And so I think that's a lot of people that are OGs in the space, right? They have their bags packed. They're waiting to be able to take profit, to getting to something new and exciting, but they're kind of all locked up. And you can see like Kai Effect right here. He said he bought at $3. So this is a prime example of taking advantage of fire sales, because he bought Ordi at $3, right? And then was able to see that right up. And Kai probably was listening to us at that time, you know, when we do the price, the daily market updates and stuff that we were hitting. But you know, he's an OG in the space, so he took advantage of that. And so there are prices like that right now, but most of the OGs are kind of got their bags packed right now.
Yep. We have 5 minutes left in the show. We'll hit on this really quickly. So many teams are building layer 2s on Bitcoin. We talked to so many of them, but they don't plan on using L1 assets. There is a few that do plan on it, one being Fractal Bitcoin, the other one doing it right now, which is Merlin. We kind of talked about this a little bit on Monday, but I figure, you know, when we have a few minutes here, do you think these ones that do not use layer 1 assets, do you think they will succeed, or do you think they're just kind of doomed for failure?
So, you know, I was talking to some people. I was talking to Francis a little bit too, and there's a little bit of a rat race right now to this Bitcoin restaking situation with Babylon and stuff like that. And really, it's about like who does it right. And that's what it's not about who does it first, it's about who does it right. And so that's what I think they're like really focused on. But I think it's a mistake. I think it's a mistake because I think that like you're only going to have one big winner there. You might have like second and third, which will probably profit, but then the rest are going to be like, okay, well, we're not getting that much, you know, volume with that and you know, TVL from that, because it's already been taken by the top 3 winners. And then now what do they do, right? Do they have a backup plan, right? And I think that's where like chains like Merlin is doing a great job, because they've been building this layer 1 synthetic asset ecosystem there, while at the same time participating in the Babylon and restaking of Bitcoin. So you have both options there. And I think that there's probably going to be like maybe like 2 or 3 of those Bitcoin layer 2s that are smart enough to do that. You know, I think Botonics might be one, you know, because they're obviously, we're learning more and more about some builders over there that are from our ecosystem as well.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, the ones that don't, they better make sure that they have, you know, market share in the Bitcoin staking, restaking, because if they don't, they're going to be a ghost chain.
Yeah, I agree. Yeah, for sure. I'm a little worried for things like BitLayer and some of these other chains that are just not focused on it at all, right? It's hard. We've seen Jeff struggle with it, right? He got it. We feel like he has it now. We feel like using, you know, what they're using over there now with you can use the bridge on Hive, you can use the bridge on Unicross, and so many others. They really have it down now, but it took months and months of doing. If they don't do this, or they decide to do this in a bull run, they might have, you know, a lot of people pissed off at them when things don't work correctly, unless, you know, Opcat comes in and they can just jump to that. But if they don't have bridging solutions soon, I think they're not going to be looked at as real L2s on Bitcoin, even with Opcat.
Well, I mean, if they have Opcat, then it should be in I'm sure that there'll be a quick, easy, seamless way to be able to bridge these assets over. But then, you know, I think the biggest thing they're trying to also get together is like to be on the same page with stuff like that. Like if Opcat comes, you know, but yeah, it's going to be, look, you can't have like 10 extremely successful Bitcoin layer 2s, right?
Well, you're gonna 10 Ethereum.
Yeah, but like think about like when their time to shine was, right? Each kind of like took their own like time in the spotlight and then passed it on to the next. It was never like all at once, right? But if you have something that sticks out, that makes you unique and different, that's where the differentiator is, right? Like with Arbitrum, they had their GMX. People wanted to trade with leverage in a decentralized way. They were able to provide that, right? You know, Polygon had a lot of you know, just volume in the beginning. They were one of the first East side chains that turned into a layer 2, so that was kind of what made them stick out, right? And then you had the centralized exchanges have their chains, like Chronos with crypto.com, Binance, BNB, stuff like that. But they all had like their time and, moment, right?
Yeah.
And you just can't really have all the liquidity in all of them at once. And so for us over here, I think we got to really start to differentiate which ones are unique. I think Merlin's very unique. I think it's very unique in the synthetic L1 asset realm, as well as the offering the staking restaking aspect. I think Botonics can be unique as well, as they're doing something similar, but they have different offerings. But then what about the other guys? Like, what else can they provide? Merlin also kind of focused on the gaming aspect with Bitmap.game and stuff like that. So they're going to have to find their niche, what they're, specializing in. Because if they're the, basically an exact same, cookie cutter of another one, then what's the point?
Yeah, that's true. But they each have their own type of dApps and each type of environments. But yeah, you're right. I see that. All right. It's about that time. It is Wednesday, guys. So you know what that means. Today is Traverse Wednesdays. So let me get rid of this banner. So what Traverse is a a cold storage vault. What that basically means is that when you lock your asset into this vault, you need 3 confirmations to get it out. One being your Google Chrome extension. I'm sorry, your what's that called? Your the 3
MFA, the
MFA.
QR code.
Yeah, the QR code. You need your Google Authenticator QR code. You need your email, which you'll send a code. Your email, you need that, and then you'll need to sign it with that wallet. So it's 3 MFAs to get your asset out. Your asset is safe. It's not even directly in your wallet. It's in another wallet that you have access to with the 3 MFAs. So with what they do, and they're not just for peer to peer. They're actually for business to business as well. But traverselabs.io is the site there.
Yeah. And I'm gonna bring something up real quick. There was an exploit with the Wazir X centralized exchange that was announced. It was a socialized loss strategy of $230 million exploit, right? Affecting 45% of the user funds. Okay. So this is a pretty huge exploit. And some people feel like, which I don't know why they would, but feel like hey, my funds are in a centralized exchange, they're safe. Like that is, I would never recommend that. Right? I only use centralized exchanges literally to on ramp and off ramp, and that is it. I don't even use them to trade leverage, but some of them are decent for leverage. But anyways, that's besides the point, right? So where can you store them? You can store them in Traverse, right? So that's why we brought that up, is because there's going to be more and more of these exploits, especially in our ecosystem, because there will be. Look, I'm still in the boat of the Bitcoin ecosystem is the main narrative for this bull run, and besides Bitcoin, right?
Yeah.
And ETF. So there's going to be a lot of liquidity that eventually comes over here. People are going to target your wallets. They're going to target you to get drained. I think Troy from BitGod, and he was targeted even in Nashville, right? I think he avoided it, right? But people are targeting everybody, so you got to be careful. And with the security vaults, you're able to do that.
100%. And I'll actually give you guys a quick walkthrough on how it works. This is Traverse. Bring up this thing here. So this is traverselabs.io. You kind of here to get the launch app. It'll take you to the application. You go to your vaults. You can create a new vault for anything really. So you got Shizzy's vault, Hide from Wife, Collections, Ordinals, Runes. Let's just say you have a Node Monkey. You can make this your Node Monkey vault, so you can only have just the Node Monkey in there. And then each of these give you its own address. So now I can take my Node Monkey, grab this address, and I can send the Node Monkey to here, and and after it gets here, you will see here. And in order to send it out, I'm gonna have to add some Bitcoin here, so I can send like $10-15 worth of Bitcoin, depending on the transaction fees, to this wallet and be able to send that out. But when I send it out, I will need to get my my digits from my email and from the Google Authenticator, and I want to sign it with my wallet as well when I go to send it out. And you guys can see here, you can put any vault whatsoever, and that is traverselabs.io. But yeah.
Awesome. All right. Well, let's get to some comments and questions. There's not a ton of questions in the chat, but if you do have any questions, you can put them in there. We'll go here until we get to all of the questions and comments. I really like this comment from Yashir. He says, real holders win at the end if they keep their FOMO under control this month. Yes, sir. I completely believe that. I think like if you have conviction this long, why let that conviction go? And then John comes in and says, what's going on with Protheum decks? So we have talked to Sam. He did commit to jumping on a live with us as soon as that is launched. He did deploy the contracts, but he just made a little bit of a mistake on that, so they had to redeploy the contracts on that. We will update you guys as soon as we hear when that's going to go live. But he did promise one thing. He said as soon as it's live, the mines will be there for you guys to stake. So I know that's been something. It's kind of like the tap issue, right? It's kind of like the tap that's constantly like our marketplace is going to be released. It's the same situation here, but he just wants to make sure that everything is correct from a technical standpoint.
I think it will be too. So
yeah,
we'll see.
D-Love says, I wonder what will really trigger the altcoin season. Altcoins have not really moved. What are your thoughts on that?
Same thing happened in 2020. If you go back and look, after DeFi summer, which finished in like August, September, especially when I think it was when the sushi swap team kind of came out, after that stuff, and like I think it was like Chef, whatever his name was, he did something really like he basically rugged the entire sushi people, and after that happened, everything got real quiet in alts, and going into almost December, so you had 4 months of dead alts, which was the perfect time to be accumulating them, and then you see a run up in January. So potentially you need Bitcoin to move first. So Bitcoin went from 10K in December of 2020 to about 28,000 by the end of 2020. And then in that January, you saw ETH move. ETH moved from, I think it was like $100 to like $1,200. And then you saw the alts move. So we might need to wait until November, December of this year before we really see ETH kind of finish its move, and then the alts kind of take their move. But here in Ordinals, we benefit when Bitcoin moves, right? So we'll get a part of that first reaction.
Yeah. You said it. ETH is kind of that indicator to let the rest of the alts know, hey, it's time. And ETH's ETF just went live a couple of days ago, right?
Yep.
And so it seems to be playing out very similarly to the Bitcoin ETF. But at the end of the day, yes, ETH has had moments to where it's kind of taken its own trajectory. It's gone up when Bitcoin's gone down and different things like that. But Bitcoin does really control the entire crypto market. I do expect Ethereum to see benefits of the ETF volume maybe 2-3 weeks from now, about the same kind of time frame as Bitcoin. It might not be as impactful as Bitcoin because the volumes are not the same. But I do expect that. And then I think once ETH gets more bullish, we will see the other altcoins kind of follow suit. One thing I'm really hoping for is, if you remember the summer of 2020?
2021.
When SHIB and everything started taking off?
2021. Yeah.
Okay. Like people were learning how to DeFi with MetaMask, using Uniswap. I'm really hoping for a similar situation with our ecosystem, right? Like downloading the Xverse wallet, learning how to interact with dApps in our ecosystem, because that really was kind of a renaissance in itself. I know we are calling this the Bitcoin Renaissance, and it definitely is, but there was the Ethereum Renaissance during that period. People were learning how to use MetaMask. I know I was going through that, and we could have a similar outcome. So that's kind of my hope.
Yep. I agree.
Yep. All right. Justin Garreau says, Jim Cramer has flipped bearish again on BTC. Very good signal for us. Yes, it
really is.
He is definitely the best opposite signal that we've ever had in all of finance, I think. Nighthawk UXL says, "What up, fellas? Minted my Seize Control. How about you guys?" Yeah, we did not mint, but definitely we'll be looking at secondary, see if there's some opportunities there, which I definitely expect will be.
It's always better to get after it's an unveil, so you can buy them right now. I can actually show my screen, but they're unrevealed yet. So it's always better to buy, from my experience, after unless you're rare hunting, right? I mean, if you're rare hunting, which means that you're trying to get a rare one, then it's probably a good time to buy now. But I bet you once these reveal, you probably get these for like 0016, 0017. What people do is they buy a bunch of them right now, and they just one rare one wins out, especially if you can sell that one for like 1 Bitcoin or half a Bitcoin or something like that.
I hate the reveal ones because I feel like you get screwed so much on that. They're like higher now than they will be once you get, obviously, if you hit a rare one, like you said, you can sell it.
That's what people do. They rare hunt. They'll buy 100 of them, right? Because that if you get like 3 rares in that 100, you made out.
Yeah.
So.
All right, Samawat Zahid, hopefully I said that right. Apologize if I didn't. Said curiosity is killing me with regards to tap. Yeah. I think it's killing everybody, right? Here are some things that I think we can look at to calm your anxiety down about it. There are officially 2 dedicated tap wallets right now that are out with Unitap and the Tap Wallet and Explorer. That's a really big deal because there's a 3rd one that's coming from the Tap team, right? Yep. So 3 wallets. Now you put this on the same level as kind of the other protocols, right? BRC20s and Runes, right? And so that to me is a big bullish indicator. And then we're talking about marketplaces too. You have now a dedicated marketplace in Tap Wallet and Explorer, and then you will have the Tap team's branded marketplace. I think when the Tap team releases that branded marketplace and their branded wallet, that's going to be humongous. And I think that's why people are just like waiting. But hey, think about infrastructure, right? Yeah. If you want to bring your anxiety down about that. Kai Effect says probably JSON is quite universal. Yeah, I think JSON's definitely into that computer programming language that is acceptable. Sure. I mean, the tap tokens are all the commands are JSON. So that'd be funny if it wasn't a part of it. Vision of Tomo, what's up? Our guy from the what was it, the Land Down Under. He says, got to spend some time with the wonderful Mr. J here in Malaysia. What a guy. Awesome. We are looking forward to that in September when we go to Singapore. So awesome, sir. Claudio says 50% retrace on markets, and I'll be a glad holder of anything. Yep.
Yeah, 50% from here. I'd say asking for a lot. I feel like we've already. I mean, it could happen, but you're asking for a lot here. I think the bottom's in for a lot of these collections here. I can see another 10%, but I can't see more than that.
Yep. Ichitoshi says, I like the Traverse guys, so please don't mistake this question. But what is the value over self-custody? Maybe I'm a bit of a dinosaur, but I always try to self-custody anything.
Traverse is self-custody, though.
It is actually, because they don't have control over your assets at all in the sense of being able to get into your vaults. Right, only you have that. They don't have your MFA. They don't have anything. So it is still self-custody. They just developed the application to help you add another layer of security to your self-custody.
And they make a small fee when you send out. Like that's how they make their money. So they're giving you the Google Authenticator. They're giving you your email. They don't have access to your email. Obviously, you never give it to them, and they don't have access to your Google Authenticator. Again, you don't give it to them. So that is why Traverse stands out against potentially buying a hardware wallet, because they're a cold storage vault, and they're just a vault that you just need 3 accesses to save you. And if their site ever goes down, there is ways in their GitHub to get access without the site. So it's not, you don't even need their site to get access to this cold storage vault.
Yeah. Well, but you still have to do something on your end. They can't do it for you. You
What
know
do
what
you
I mean? Like you still there's no way for them to go into your vault without you having some sort of
Well, they don't have access to
step.
your email or your
Yeah.
authenticator, so
Yep. This one's an interesting one. Samuel Watt says, I'm hearing that there will be no bull run this year.
yeah.
Yeah, that's, I don't know who you're hearing that from, but don't listen to them anymore. I mean, it would literally break the cycle of the 4-year cycle that has existed since the
I mean,
start of Bitcoin.
if you watch our show and you see the news every single day about this with Bitcoin and this with Bitcoin, it's almost impossible. You're right. So if someone were to tell me that we're gonna have a Bitcoin only cycle, that's more believable than hearing that we're not gonna have a bull run at all. Because technically we're already in a bull run.
Yeah, and there's never been a Bitcoin only cycle. There's never been a Bitcoin only cycle. I mean, even in, was it 2013, right? Like there was actually shit coins in 2013.
Yeah.
People don't remember. I remember because when I first got into Bitcoin, I wasn't well versed in the Bitcoin. It was 2013. I bought some Bitcoin, realized that I was a little late at like a $700 price, which to me at the time, now I think about it, I'm so stupid at the time because I didn't learn about it. And I bought into this coin called Feathercoin because I said, hey, I want to make that run up. And so other coins benefited in 2013 from Bitcoin's bullish price action, and same thing happened in 2017, and the same thing happened in 2020. We will always have a bull run of some sorts.
I agree.
Hope to see says, is there any additional information about MagiSat's new feature? You know what they're talking about here?
Remember yesterday I was telling you about the wheel spin?
Oh yeah. But I don't remember what. I know it was like kind of like a gambling type of degen feature, but
yeah.
Do you have any extra information for them on this?
8 hours. Let me look at my screen here. So it's every like 8 hours or something. I missed it again, but it happens like once a day. So I'm not really sure how it works. I'm gonna I'll pay attention. I'll come back in like 8 hours. But yeah, man.
Awesome. All right, I think that wraps up all the Q&A and comments today, guys. We appreciate you guys, 90 people in here, and so we show up every day, and you guys do too. I know the markets aren't the most exciting. There are some fire sales in the ordinal space, so go check those out on Magic Eden, and then we will kind of expand on what we're looking at later today whenever we go live for our members live in the FOMC meeting. But just hang in there, guys. Your conviction brought you here. It brought us to create a whole channel dedicated to this space. So just stick with it. I know it's boring right now, but it's going to get exciting soon. Just remember last winter, and that was nothing, in my opinion. So
yeah, man, and tune back in with us, guys. We'll be here at 2 p.m. Eastern time. Check us out. If you are a member, that is a YouTube members only video. So check us out. It should be fun. Come hang out with us. We can answer any question you guys have. We can dig into our personal portfolios, whatever you guys want. But we'll dig into our our challenge of 5K to 100K. We're definitely down on it. We'll find out how bad we're down on it, but we're still convicted to the plays that we're in. For the long run, I think that was the whole point. They're not, quick flips. A lot of them are long-term holds. Some 3 to 6 months. Some are we're going to hold for over a year, something like track or something. But we will see. So come check us out later today. And we have our partners.
Yep. And guys, if you have a moment, please check out our partners, Ordinal Hive, the Blur of Bitcoin. They are building on Merlin chain as well as Bitcoin's native layer. And in the future, they will probably expand as well. But they are in beta test mode right now. So go over to their Discord, ask to be allowed into the beta test mode, but it is real live action in terms of trading and earning points. So you can get ahead there. And then Fluid Tokens, the passes. So that has been extended to at least August 15th. We're trying to get it to the end of August, but we'll get confirmation with Raul later today, I believe, or our meeting with them is tomorrow. And then, but if you go and interact, you will be able to see your wallet address on the leaderboard to see where you're ranked. If you're in the top 1,000, you will receive a fluid pass, which will in the future earn you some tokens possibly. So, and then we have VDEX, which is a Bitcoin Layer 1 asset swap on Merlin. Check them out. They should be live very soon. You should be able to stake your BRC 420s. So they have an option for those BRC 420s that have been probably burning a hole in your wallet there. And then we just hit on Traverse, the #1 solution for a Bitcoin Layer 1 asset security with their security vaults.
Yep. And if you guys wouldn't mind, head over to ordinalrevolution.com. We have some of the best articles. If you know someone new in the space who is looking to get in, send them our website. They can have so many different articles to kind of help them get started so you don't have to bother you. So definitely send them our website. So check us out, guys. And we have some of the best merch in the business here. If you're looking for merch, we have it. We have, Billy Cats to the pandas to the puppets to the goose and those. So check us out, all of our stuff here, guys. And we are live Monday to Friday, 11 a.m. Eastern, 10 a.m. Central, 8 a.m. Pacific, and 4 p.m. UTC. So check us out all week. And like I said earlier, we'll see you guys in about an hour and a half. We'll be back here in our seats, walking you guys through the FOMC hike. We'll check some Bitcoin charts, watch it as Pal's talking. It should be fun, a little hangout. Not many people. It should be a good time. And I will see you guys in a little bit.
Peace.
We OG, oh no, You're not bullish enough, yeah. Oh no, you're not bullish enough. You ain't got the oh no. I get stoned by the bolo. Bitcoin set to overload, yeah. Experts on reload, yeah. You're not bullish enough, yeah. Oh no, you're not bullish enough. You ain't got the oh no. I get stoned by the bolo. Bitcoin set to overload. Experts on reload. Mempool getting hot. Everybody wanna rock, ayy. Rooms is coming, everybody on a knot, ayy. It's a nuisance, Ordinal Revolution, ayy. Ordinal Revolution. Yo, it's my guy for real, bro. Got friends right now. Yo, BRC 420, bro. Yo, that shit found fire, bro. Imagine if he in here. Yeah, lock it in the seal. Murder. I got balls of steel. Nookie on the field. Yeah, this shit for real. With no calls, I get so far. Got 100 phone calls that I go hard, and they gon' love me. Smoke weed, huddle back. I get shiesty. Where my Bitcoin looking lovely. Started Satoshi's nothing above me.